The evolution of the human foot is amazing, but everyone's feet are different. That's the problem this machine is designed to solve. The iStep SP5000 is a unique sensing device. It's engineering and biology combined to help you choose the perfect sneakers.
All you have to do is stand on the device, it'll self-start.
Oh, okay, so there's my feet. What do each of these dots represent?
Well, the machine has 3,700 pressure sensors. What you're seeing is the pressure points of your feet.
Oh, okay, so if I lean on my left foot, it should get red over here.
Exactly.
I see. All right, this thing is pretty and silver. There's a lot of pretty colors up there, but I want to know how it really works.
Each pad is embedded with conductive wires. Below them, thousands of sensors. When you stand on it, the weight of your feet triggers thousands of pressure-sensitive points.
You've got all these sensors, but then you've also got the infrared LEDs that are measuring what? Your foot size?
Exactly.
This black spot here, this is where my arch is at, right? There's no pressure being exerted there.
Exactly. And if you had lower arches or flat feet, this area here would be filled in.
Larry's got sneaker fitting down to a science. It makes sense. We take more than 3.5 million steps every year. That's over 100,000 miles in a lifetime. And Larry tells me every step you take in a shoe that doesn't fit causes small stresses. These strains will multiply over time if the condition isn't corrected, eventually leading to injuries not only in the feet, but in the legs, pelvis, and back.
This is like Dance Dance Revolution for adults. And with no dancing.
Well, we've been called worse.
The software matches me up to one of hundreds of different possible sizes and styles.
Somewhere in this huge warehouse is a pair of sneakers that's perfect for me. Take me to them, Larry.
They're right here.
All right. This is me. Ooh. Still got that new sneaker smell. Let's try these on. Larry, these feel good, man. My feet have never felt more comfortable, more supported, more loved.
Great.
Thanks for the foot love.
Anytime.
I mean that platonically. Like, you know what? Thanks for the shoes.
Part of the genius of sneakers is designing them for the long haul. Pop quiz. What percentage of adults develop foot or ankle problems at some point in their lives? 95%. Are better sneakers the answer? I'm putting this idea to the test where it counts. Moving and grooving.
We're here at Brooks Labs in Bothell, Washington to meet the experts who specialize in designing and testing shoes that are perfect for the human foot.
We spend a lot of time here in the lab getting different kinds of shoes on them and then finding out what those shoes do to that gait. What do they do to their running mechanics?
Derek is going to put me through the paces so I can see how it works. Step 1, measuring my arches. We know arches are natural springs for pushing off when we run. They're also natural shock absorbers as our feet land. Arch problems afflict nearly 60% of the population. So for sneaker makers, correct support is a top priority.
You've got somewhere between 4.5 and 7.5 millimeters of drop in your navicular bone. You don't have a high rigid arch, but you also don't have a very soft collapsing arch.
My arch is right in the middle, which is good. Now for step 2, assessing my gait. That is, the pattern of movement particular to me.
I apologize for you having to see me like this, but it's for science.
We're going to put you in a couple sensor systems here, do some measurements on the treadmill while you're running, and get a really good look at what you do.
Putting it on the line for science.
Pressure sensing insoles in my shoes relay impact data to a computer.
This whole apparatus is designed to measure the human gait. But you gotta wonder, how much does the shoe have to do with it? Hey, Derek, can I wear my work boots?
I want to see how much more damage the boots are doing.
Kind of like army training or something.
I can definitely feel more of my weight hitting the treadmill. And And now I'm about to find out what that means for my feet.
Run that boot forward, and you can see that motion as it goes across.
It goes from bottom to top because I'm hitting with the heel of my foot and then going up like that. Okay, let's see the sneaker now.
We can see that much better distribution of pressure across the whole surface of the foot.
When I look at the scans side by side, it's clear that the sneaker is doing a much better job of diffusing the shock of impact. Whereas it's all focused in one area in the boot. Ouch. The key to the sneaker is in the way it channels the foot's natural momentum to maximum biomechanical advantage. As your foot begins its stride, your heel strikes the ground first. As this happens, the sneaker's heel counter locks your heel into place, maximizing the shock absorption of the midsole under it. As you transition forward, the laces in the upper stabilize your foot, keeping it in alignment. Then, as you prepare to push off, the toe box gives your toes room to spread out, increasing traction as the foot pushes off again. All this time, cushioning embedded in the midsole is absorbing the peak forces your foot encounters as it rolls through its stride.
Now we want to look at more than just motion from behind. We want to look at three-dimensional motion.
Okay. I feel really cool.
One on the top of your head.
Each sensor has a special reflective coating that's highly visible to a bank of 6 infrared motion capture cameras.
So each of the dots up there corresponds to one of the dots that's on me. Right now, Derek is drawing lines between all those dots in order to define where my skeleton's at.
So we're going to look at your gait and see how they're moving.
This is what my gait looks like, Derek. It looks awesome.
The cameras share information to create an accurate biomechanical movie. Although it's a little bit retro and psychedelic. I'm thinking Tron. Ideally, a runner's legs move in a flat plane perpendicular to the ground. By adjusting the viewing angle, Derek spots a flaw in my gait.
And we can kind of see that out of planar motion. So if that line was hidden the whole time, it would be right in plane, but we can see that right there, excursion, as it goes out of plane.
Once it's all said and done, a biomechanics expert is going to be able to find out exactly how your shoe on your foot affects your gait. And from there, they can give you the perfect shoe so that you'll have the healthiest gait possible.
Okay, Daniel, after all that, we finally got the perfect shoes for you.
All right. Thank you.
I now have my second pair of perfect shoes. Now I'm protected against injury and arthritis, right? Not exactly. As long as there is gravity, there are going to be injuries. But sneakers are meant to reduce the long-term damage by working with the natural shape and movement of the foot. The right sneakers, that is. We can't all have our feet scanned and our gait motion captured. So how do we look at rows of sneakers and pick the ones with the right support? Or maybe the better question is, how do companies persuade us to choose their sneakers just by looking at them? Turns out there's a whole visual psychology to shoe design.
It's a situation where you look down at your shoe and say, oh, this reminds me of my car.
Sure. The car has speed lines, so does the shoe.